All right, for today's demo, we're gonna be doing a picture that I took up in Michigan at Lake Michigan. And so it's gonna be kind of fun with some trees along the side of the beach. I'm not really gonna get into doing the water part of this. I kind of want to focus on doing these fun tree formations, and I'll put the image in here as well so that you can see. But it has a fun perspective to it because our trees are slowly receding as they get away from us, and our beach is kind of slowly receding as they get away from us. So I thought it'd be a good practice to show you kind of how I would lay this down and do this from start to finish. So I'm gonna come in with my pencil lightly and just lightly sketching in the tops of these trees. Trying to keep it pretty light so that I don't even have to erase. Also, I've got my trunk in here. And then we've got this shelf part kind of that all this stuff is kind of on. And then it kind of comes down like this. There's this like sweeping motion. And then our clouds are kind of doing a fun thing too. We've got this pocket in here. And then right here we're gonna kind of just lightly sketching in some cloud sky areas as well. Okay, that looks good. My line's got a little darker down here, so I'll come back and erase just down in here lightly. Okay, I'm gonna come in and start with my 8-inch round brush, and I'm gonna kind of put in this like nice burnt orange color and actually add it into some of the shadowed spots as well, just to bring that kind of into the whole painting. So to get that, I already had some blue mixed onto my palette to help tone that orange down. I'm gonna mix some red into it. Add a little more blue, darken it up. Okay, that looks pretty good. If you need to, you can always test your color, you know, on your paper somewhere on the edge, or if you have a scrap piece of paper to come test your color. I'm gonna risk it. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, so I'm coming in and laying in this color. Again, I'm kind of going with like a sweeping motion down. And then I'm also gonna put a little bit of this color up in here, kind of to help act as a shadow. Okay, I'm going to rinse out my brush. And while this is still wet, I'm actually gonna come with my warm yellow into this top area. So I'm kind of coming into there with it wet still to get a nice little bit of like the sun's hitting it, because our sun's come in this direction, and so it kind of brightens it up. Okay, now I'm gonna come wet my brush and just soften these edges a little bit. Okay, while that's drying, I'm gonna come in and work on this beach section. So I'm gonna get a tan color for my beach. A little white to it. Maybe a touch of red. And then I'm just gonna come in and lightly lay that down. Grab some more water to kind of pull that. Letting it be darker over here where it has that slope. And I'm also pulling that paint up as well. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then you'll notice this shelf area right here where it comes down is pretty dark. So I'm gonna mix up blue with my burnt sienna. Mix a little bit of that orange into it. And I'm gonna come in here and just lightly dab in here a few spots. Rinse out my brush. While that's still wet, I'm gonna just come with a little bit of just a brown to kind of lay in there, mix down in there. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna let that dry and come and add my trees up in here. And so I'm gonna grab, probably what I need to do first though is clean out my palette because my palette's getting kind of full. And I'm just mixing a lot of the colors that are in there into this. Okay, that's better. Mix really light green. I'm gonna tone it down with this kind of tan color in with it. So this photo was taken fall time last year. And so it has these fun yellows, golds, burnt oranges in there. Okay, I'm gonna come get some darker greens on my brush. I try and keep it pretty loose if I can. And so really I'm just kind of like dropping my paintbrush down, picking it up. I'm gonna put a little bit of that color on this back side of this bush just to give it a little more dimension. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna come and grab a very light Now this right here is pretty dark because our trees aren't getting a whole lot of light coming through and it's really dense forest. So I'm gonna mix up a really dark green. So I'm gonna pull my green, I'm gonna pull red, and I'll probably pull some blue into there, and then same with my burnt sienna, just to get that really nice and dark. So I'm pulling that dark in there. And a little bit of this dark up top too. This is a fun composition just because you can be so loose with it and have fun with it. It's not too rigid. Trees are fun just because they are so organic, and they're not like hard straight edges that you have to make sure you get right. You can have fun with it, and they can be just kind of more random.